All right, looks like we are live again. So welcome back to Roxham TV and also welcome back to Jam Crypto, like whichever platform you're watching on. Hope you guys had a nice weekend because I certainly did. If you catch my live stream, on Friday, just before the weekend, you know that I was having so much fun because I was hosting this crypto yacht thing. It was my first time actually to do stuff like this because I never hosted such a big event. So if you go to my, by the way, it's my ex, it's my new ex. Make sure you follow the right one because my previous one, the Jam Crypto one, I got hacked and then the hacker took my account, changed my password, and then changed my recovery email. So make sure when you go to Twitter and if you guys want to follow me, make sure you have the _IO instead of just Jam Crypto. Because so over the weekend I hosted this like crypto yacht party. It was so much fun. It was amazing. The weather was beautiful. Because it's like typhoon weather in Hong Kong right now. So I feel extremely blessed that the weather was amazing and then the crew was amazing as well. So I literally posted this like 5 hours ago. It's so it's funny how once I posted this yesterday, so I posted on my real account, the real Jenny Wong, and then the hacker, which is the previous account you see here. So there you go. That's my previous account. The hacker copy and paste what I type in the caption and then use my picture to post on my hacked account. So I was extremely mad. I'm going to talk more about the hack in this live stream. I'm going to focus on the hack because I kind of take this personally. And I found out that there is another massive hack. The North Korean stole $1.3 million from JP, which is from THORChain. So we're going to get into that. But first of all, of course, if you have been watching my show, you know that I like to open it with a little bit of TA and look at where Bitcoin is going. So Bitcoin is nice and strong. Like over the weekend, we closed above these rectangle box that I drew. So this is like a consolidation period that we have been just like trading sideways for quite some time. So like for a month or something, like more than a month actually, because we're on the daily chart. So more than a month. And then Bitcoin broke out of that support and then actually closed above that critical level of 113. Usually when that happened, like I would take the width of the rectangle and go to the breakout point. So another level I'm eyeing very closely is 119 right here. And 119, another reason why is, I would say it's more like a mid-range because we are seeing so much like price data around here. So let's see how many days we are touching this critical like 119 level. So there are like 17 days, 17 daily bars touching this critical level. So I do think that, okay, once we get to 119, we might get rejected, but like hopefully we can hold 113 as a major support. But again, it kind of all depends on what the Fed gonna do, right? We dive really deep into the macro scene. We talk about the labor market. We talk about the rate cut. We talk about the PPI, the CPI, the inflation data, all that. Like if you want a deep dive, you could go back to my previous live stream on both Roxham TV and on my own YouTube channel, Jam Crypto. But for now, I kind of want to focus, today a little bit more news focused, so less TA. So we are going to get the result from the Fed on 18th of September. So in the morning, 8:30 Eastern time in the morning, we're going to get the result from the Fed, whether we're going to get a 25 basis point rate cut or a 50 basis point rate cut. Well, I hope we'll get 50 basis point, not because I'm biased, like, oh, Jamie, because you're holding BTC and so much crypto. So a rate cut would be very beneficial for us back holders. Like, okay, not only that. Another reason that I think like a 50 basis point rate cut is justifiable is because the Fed fund rate right now is sitting at 4.3%, while the 2-year treasury yield is sitting at 3.5%. So there is a, like, in other words, 80 basis point or 0.8% difference in the like Fed fund rate and also the 2-year treasury yield. So even the Fed, if they cut like 0.5% in on 18th of September, that is still not enough. In other words, like this year in 2025, we're gonna need more rate cuts, not just like one rate cut. So hopefully the ideal case is that we'll get 50 basis point this time and then 25 and another 25 because we're trying to get the fund rate below the 2-year treasury yield. So hopefully this is just what we hope for. However, if we get like 25 basis point instead, that might justify the retest of this like support level of 113. See if a 25 basis point and we still manage to stay above this level. But right now, Bitcoin is like holding really strong, and not just because we broke out of this like support, this resistance of 113, and we have been staying above for like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 consecutive days. So that's pretty amazing in my opinion. And then let's also hop onto the weekly chart. So we just now looking at the daily, like weekly kind of give us a like longer perspective where Bitcoin is going in the long term. All right, so we are on the weekly, and then there are a lot more like horizontal lines I drew. Okay, what happened, Jamie, is a little bit confusing. Okay, I'm gonna explain how you could read this chart. Even like at home, if you guys are into a little bit TA, you can just like pull out trading view and look at this. So just focus on the 200-week moving average, which is the red line here. By the way, chat, please talk to me if you can see my screen or if you guys are squinting. I'm going to zoom closer. Yeah, let me know if that helps. So focus on this line. So this red line is the 200-week moving average. Right now we're sitting at 53K. So usually when the bear market hit, Bitcoin would like to go back to the 200-week moving average. So how we can use this to justify, okay, whether the top is in, because I see that people are still talking about that on social medias, and I don't happen to wrap my head around or understand this. But okay, and a indicator that I use whether Bitcoin is okay, it's getting frothy, like, or like it's near the top, is that okay? Use the 200-week moving average. Take it from okay, right now it's 53,000, right? If we go up 50%, like this is usually the like the mid range, and another 100% away from the 200-week moving average is like, okay, this is usually the average and we can still go above. It's like definitely cheap if we stay inside this region. So between 79K to 106K is considered cheap. Between 106 to 133, so that will bring us another 150%, like a price difference between the 200-week moving average to be considered, okay, it's a little bit expensive, but it's not like too frothy. And at the moment, we are still like in the middle between this like expensive, like a little expensive, not too expensive, like a little pricey range. We are on the lower side in terms of this pricey range. But like when Bitcoin go to, let's pull out the ruler again. So when Bitcoin go out like 200%, like a price difference between 200-week moving average and the 200%, like that's when I'll be a little bit cautious maybe as a trader, we'll take a little bit profit. But as you can see, we are nowhere close. We are sitting at 115 or 116 right now. Kind of really depends on what the Fed gonna do. But like TA wise, chart wise, Bitcoin is doing extremely well. And if you zoom closer, we have the, first of all, okay, let me hide this moving average so it's not as messy. We have the bull market support band, and we are on the weekly. This is the bull market support band. Like, let me circle that, just is easier to read. So the cloud or the band right here, we're actually trading above the bull market support band. Not only that, we managed to close above the bull market support band. So that is showing bullish sign to me. Again, let's hope we can hold the either bull market support band or the rectangle that we drew in the beginning of the show, which is at 113, if we end up just getting a 25 basis point. Because a lot of that have priced in for 25 basis point. More than 90% of people are expecting that we will at least get 25 basis point. So yeah, the market will be, I'm guessing, might be neutral, or end up like going to retest that level of support. But like the ideal case is of course 50 basis point. But let's see, we'll have the result on 18th of September. And it's good to see that, because I talk about the monthly return of Bitcoin quite a lot this month. It's kind of surprising because like September is usually be like a weak month for Bitcoin. It's nice to see that like right now we are in the middle of September and we are, looks like it's a negative, I mean, it's a positive number, it's a plus 7%. Let's see if we manage to hold or even sustain till the first week of October, because I'm just here showing you the pattern and you guys draw to conclusion. I know that like history doesn't often repeat itself, but often rhymes. So just giving you a little bit of data, a little bit of reference to fall back into. Okay, so that's for the market analysis. I kind of want to get into the news session a little bit quicker. So we do have, I would say like bullish, like good for Americans. So the first news that I prepared for you guys is that, okay, Tether is pivoting. I won't say pivot, but like launching a new product for the American market. So directly targeting American user. So they launch out this product called USAT. It's a brand new US regulated stablecoin. Like this marks a huge shift from like for the world's biggest stablecoin issuer as it tries to comply with America's new stablecoin law, which is the Genius Act. So let's unpack a little bit more here. So yeah, it's a move that signals a strategic shift toward embracing US oversight. Tether has announced plans for USAT, a new dollar-backed stablecoin tailored for the American market. So this new US division, this USAT, is led by someone called Bo Hines. And this guy is a former White House advisor on digital assets. So that's adding a lot of regulatory credibility, I would say. But like some people would get confused. So like, why not just like USDT, or why you separate USAT? So USDT is for offshore. USAT will be issued by a company called and wait, how do you pronounce it? Encourage Digital. So anyways, I'm sorry if I butcher the name. So Encourage Digital. What we have to know is that the nation's first federal chartered crypto bank. That's all we have to know, is adding a lot of credibility to Tether, because it has been criticized for God knows how long, for like ever since Tether was invented, I would say. So what sort of critics? If you guys are maybe new to crypto, or if you guys only been like crypto for like one cycle, you might have not known about all the like the shady stuff you heard, because I've heard a lot. And yeah, like I am happy to read out some of the news that I found here. So critics have long accused the company of opacity in its reserve management and potential ties to market manipulation, issues that have drawn federal scrutiny since at least 2018, when US prosecutors probed whether USDT was used to artificially inflate Bitcoin prices. So back in the days, what people found is that, okay, whether like whenever there is new USDT being minted, that seems to be like a uptick in terms of Bitcoin price. So that's criticism number one. But they're like at the list for criticism for Tether is extremely long. And another one is like, okay, in 2021, New York's Attorney General fined Tether $18.5 million for misleading claims about its reserve, forcing the firm to agree to quarterly attestations without admitting wrongdoing. So people were saying that, okay, Tether is not entirely backed by the US dollar on a 1-to-1 ratio. Maybe it's only 1 to 0.7. That is the number that has been throwing around. And then a lot of that money was backed by like Chinese commercial paper, stuff like that. And then more recently in 2024, like the federal authorities seized 200,000 USDT tokens linked to illicit activity. So yeah, point being, there's so much criticism around Tether, and Tether kind of want to come clean and fully adapt to the Genius Act. Right now, like they're saying that, okay, first of all, it's going to be 1-to-1 backed by US dollars or short-term treasury. So in order to be classified as short-term treasury, that like it is usually the maturation date is less than 90 days. And custody gonna be managed by a major Wall Street firm. Where's the name? Well, I didn't manage to find the name, but like, okay, there you go though. So Cantor Fitzgerald. So sorry if I butchered the name again. So basically, it will be managed and custody by a major Wall Street firm. And then there's also monthly attestations required by the law under the Genius Act. So this whole program, so this new USAT stablecoin, they target to launch by the end of 2025. However, it's just restricted to US residents, US businesses and institutions. So global users will still continue to use USDT instead. And the reason why you have like USAT, like is they're going multi-chain, of course, like all their major EVM chains like Ethereum, Polygon, and also it will be available on Solana because that is like another really popular chain that I'm a big fan of. This is for like immediate DeFi and exchange integration, and also for this USAT stablecoin. Yeah, it's gonna build in this built-in nature for like KYC and AML verification for issuance, redemption, and transfers through US banks. Yeah, so the goal is to, of course, attract institution money, and because a lot of institutions have been complaining about like don't try not to touch USDT, and if they want a stable coin, they'll much rather do it with USDC because they are the good child. They comply with the US government really well. So right now, USAT, they're coming out and try to like, okay, we are coming clean. We are extremely compliant. We are trying to be the good child of the US so that the treasuries, the corporates, the fintechs, they can now finally get into Tether via this new USAT stablecoin. And of course, this is what Donald Trump wants, right? Because it's further strengthened the US dollar's dominance in the blockchain-based finance. So I know some of you will have questions like, okay, Jemmy, so what, is it too small? Like, Jemmy, why don't just use USDT and USDT be fully comply with the US government? Yeah, so the reality is that USDT thrives in emerging markets like Africa, Southeast Asia, like even in Hong Kong, like we use USDT a lot more. It's like the most popular stablecoin in Hong Kong. USDC we don't use a lot, but I know the West prefer using USDC instead. So all I'm saying is that if Tether try to adapt USDT to US law, it has like 166 billion in reserves. So in other words, they'll have to move all 166 billion reserves into US custody. So Tether didn't want to do that. And also because of the Genius Act, you have to impose quite strict KYC. And if you do it on the popular USDT, then you have to impose strict KYC globally. And that will affect like millions of users. And for USDT, there are a lot of like unbanked population that is using USDT. So it's not doing any convenience for users globally. Yeah, so I would say it makes sense for Tether to do this. And it's just like the same reason why Binance separate Binance US and also Binance.com, like the global version. And then right now, Tether is having this like dual token strategy. USDT is for global, is for offshore, is helping a lot of like unbanked like population, while USAT is US only, fully compliant, built for institutions. All right, so if you guys didn't know, like this Genius Act is like the first comprehensive US stablecoin law, giving clarity to issuers, exchanges, and users. What's so important about this act is that, first of all, we have a clear definition, like what is the like define payment stablecoins. That is very important for when you do like legal stuff, like document stuff. We have like a classification, and then there also like a strict rule for when it comes to reserves and then redemption. It has to be like no crypto collateral. It has to be backed by 100% cash or US treasuries. Short-term treasuries, and then they're like AML, KYC. We have something very similar in Hong Kong, but the one in Hong Kong is a little bit more comprehensive. Like because we have like license even for OTC. I could share more about that in the next stream, but for now, I kind of want to focus on USAT. That's a mouthful. USAT. All right, so how for global users, we don't really like this. Doesn't really affect us. They only affect how the US banks and corporates and institutions, because they avoided USDT before. Now, analysts are saying that with USAT, this stablecoin, it could reach like 10 billion or 50 billion in market cap by 2026. So yeah, people are quite like, I would say like neutral. Of course, there's some positive take. Okay, it's great for Tether to do such thing, just same as like how Binance did back in the days. But like there are of course like negative takes about this, like still calling USAT being the US stablecoin, so it's extremely centralized, and how US government can just step in and freeze your money if they think that you're doing so-called illicit activities. Well, I kind of find that comment funny, not gonna lie, because even though USDT isn't controlled by the US government, I mean, Tether has been doing that the whole time, like freezing some funds. I mean, they did it for their own good, right? I use that in quote because that is controversial. Like in like some of like hack events, if there's a bridge being hacked, and then like there are cases before like millions of dollars of USDT being stolen, but Tether can just step in and freeze that money. So, I mean, Tether has been doing that. So, yeah. But ultimately, I think it's a net positive. And yeah, I like where Tether is going to be like more legit and comply and be the good child of the US. Uncle Sam. All right, so we have been talking a lot about America. Let's talk about the next country, Kazakhstan. So Kazakhstan president calls for launch of national crypto reserve. Well, it looks a little bit too big on my end. So Kazakhstan just announced plans to build a national crypto reserve. This is a Central Asian country that is known for Bitcoin mining and now wants to hold BTC directly as part of its sovereign wealth strategy. And not gonna lie, before I did the live stream, I don't know much about the country. So usually, because like whenever I do analysis or live stream like this, I spend hours and hours doing research, and I was learning about the country. So if you didn't know that on the graph, like there you go. So let me zoom out. There you go. So it's a country in Central Asia. It's just below Russia, next to China. So it has a close ties to China, doing some trading and stuff. But anyways, like this, Kazakhstan is actually the 9th largest country by land. And then there's like 20 million people, like 20 million population. And then as for the GDP in 2024, they have $260 billion on GDP. Mainly the income comes from oil, gas, minerals. So a lot of natural resources in this country. So why does crypto matter for Kazakhstan, right? They kind of, first of all, they want to slowly reduce its independence on oil. And that seems to be the trend. Like even the Middle East are trying to like come up with ways like innovation to slightly reduce the reliance on oil. And that is always a good thing, because even for income, you have to diversify, right? So yeah, and then Kazakhstan also has an edge over China because China banned crypto mining back in 2021, and then the country has like cheap hydropower and energy surplus. So back in the days, like some of the mining activities actually transferred from China to Kazakhstan. So Kazakhstan, it is a very interesting country. And when it's come to the crypto stance, it's a little bit conflicting, because back in 2020, Kazakhstan was quite hostile to crypto. Banks, they would like ban all the crypto dealing or crypto transaction. And if you trade crypto, it's viewed as a threat to the country. But ever since 2021, because China banned crypto, a lot of that mining power went to Kazakhstan. And in 2021, it encountered 18% of global BTC hash rate. So it's not a small country when it comes to the hash rate. However, there was a protest 1 year later, and then there was like an internet blackout. And of course, if there's like internet blackout, it crippled the mining activity. So hash rate dropped, and then some of that miners flee the country. Right now, they are trying to fix that. They are like, okay, in 2024, they took a more like a balanced approach. So they banned crypto payments, but they are okay with crypto trading and mining and custody. So that's a little bit contradicting. And yeah, I don't really see how that works, but that is back in 2024. Right now, they are trying to be pro-crypto again. Like, I won't say 100%, but they are pro-crypto in a very controlled environment, trying to create like even a digital, wait, that's the news, like even create like a digital asset reserve. And as we know, like a lot more countries are getting in and trying to have this reserve. The reason why for Kazakhstan want to do such thing as well is, of course, hedge against inflation. Fiat is like a melting ice cube. And also for this country, they're trying to pivot away from the USD. So we're seeing a trend of de-dollarization from especially BRICS country. And then, yeah, it seems to be a movement, but I would say this movement is gradual. So USD is not going away in like a year or in, I'll say at least this decade. USD is still going to dominate the market, but we are seeing a very slow, a steady decline for USD dominance. And then reasons like this might actually, yeah, be one of the factor that, yeah, that USD is going down. But again, I don't think it's not gonna go down in at least this decade. Yeah, so this is the reason why they are proposing a crypto reserve. And then how they store it is, of course, cold storage. That's very important. And then they're going to hold their crypto for at least 5 years. So that's a lot more hodling power entering the market. So that's always a plus. And then it's going to be oversight by the Ministry of Finance. Of course, BTC going to be the majority of the crypto that they hold. Ethereum and stablecoins will also be considered and being added to the bracket. And then the plan is that there will be like an initial fund of $500 million to $1 million. And then they will source that money from oil fund, like mining revenues, like seizures, yeah, to purchase crypto. They have like a roadmap. So it's due in October this year, but hopefully they could implement the law by this year and then actually launch something maybe Q1 next year. But as we know, like governments always move very slow. So yeah, at the moment there isn't any new BTC being bought. If this plan get executed, that could add 5,000 to 10,000 BTC, which is equivalent to $600 million to $1.2 billion at current prices, at today's prices. And if that were to happen, that will bring up the country like Kazakhstan to like the top 10 sovereign holders in terms of BTC. So that's really something. As we know that, okay, we have the rank list. Can you see, guys? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, so at the moment, Uncle Sam is still holding the most BTC. So USA is holding 198,000 BTC. China comes second and is like extremely close. I will say, actually, I think China holds more BTC, but they are just not like, it's not an official number, but they secretly hold a lot of BTC because back in the days, most mining activity comes from China. So yeah, maybe, I don't know. But based on the official number, what they claim that they have, USA is still the first one, and USA is kind of like treating the BTC reserve more like a digital Fort Knox. So digital gold, digital reserve. And yeah, right now, still the biggest one, but Donald Trump signed an executive order of creating strategic Bitcoin reserve and digital asset stockpile in March. So a few months ago, like we're still waiting for updates or actually implementing the rule. But yeah, again, governments move extremely slow. As for China, there isn't any news about like having a digital asset reserve. Chinese government have its BTC mostly from seizure, just like USAT does. There isn't any strategic reserve policy from China, and Chinese government is still being very hostile to crypto. And as I mentioned, like crypto mining is banned in China, but it's very interesting. Like, okay, mining is banned in China, yet it still comes as number 2. So I think it really does say something. Like, China is really a country cannot be ignored. All right, but like, yeah, if we see Kazakhstan get in, that is going to be like extremely good for the country. And yeah, Kazakhstan may not be El Salvador or the US, but its announcement matters. If the state digital asset fund becomes reality, like Kazakhstan could cement itself as the top 10 BTC holding nation. And as more countries build crypto reserves, like Bitcoin is no longer just a speculative play. And yeah, I'm liking what I see. I think this is just the start of countries FOMOing. I will say this cycle, this 2025 bull market is still dominated by treasury companies. It's not so much about countries FOMO. So the next cycle is going to be fun because country is going to ape in just like us retail, and they're going to buy our bags, which I'll be extremely over the moon. All right, so let's move on to the next one, and kind of I wouldn't say the focus. I kind of take this personally because the reason why I take it personally, because I got hacked 2 weeks ago. Oh, so what we have got here is that the North Korean hackers just scammed JP Thor, who's the co-founder of THORChain, for, wait for it, $1.3 million. Okay, so this wasn't your typical hack. It's a sophisticated deepfake social engineering attack. Here's the ironic part. So THORChain, I'm not sure if any of you used THORChain before or familiar with THORChain, because it is a protocol JP. So that's the co-founder, JP. There goes, like this guy. JP, he helped build this like protocol. So the protocol is like it's like a favorite place for hackers when they want to do money laundering. And yeah, today we're going to break down the details why the whole thing is so ironic. So THORChain is a decentralized cross-chain liquidity protocol. It allows users to swap BTC to Ethereum even without using wrapped tokens or centralized exchanges. So that's pretty convenient. They are pretty big. They have like $5 to $6 billion in the TVL, and then the trading fees, it would go to Rune holders. So they have the native currency, so Rune, RUNE, and JP, the co-founder of this project, still holds a large stake. So why hackers like to use THORChain, like to use this chain so much, is because they believe in neutrality. They believe in decentralization, where even though like a hack took place, they believe that they shouldn't intervene and they shouldn't get in the way, just like USDT did or like some other protocols did. So that's why THORChain has been repeatedly used by North Korean hackers for laundering earning fees that benefited Rune holders. And what happened here is that a scam took place a few days ago. A old MetaMask, which is owned by JP himself. Likely JP had forgotten about this MetaMask wallet, and there is like $1.3 million in ETH and USDT. I mean, I would like to get to that point, like someone just like forget that they have like $1 million in one of the random wallets. But yeah, how did this happen? Like, okay, sorry, things are about to get interesting. So the hackers hacked into JP's friend's Telegram. So one of JP's contacts, his Telegram got hacked, and then the hacker, or acting like JP's friends, sent him a conference call invite for partnership or something urgent. So JP clicked into that malicious link, believing that it was just coming from his friend or his partner, basically just someone he knows. And then the craziest part is that JP actually opened the conference call, and he was talking to the hacker while the hacker was using AI like deepfakes to impersonate the contact, impersonate his friend or his contact. So the face, the voice, like everything looked real, and the hacker and JP was even like talking a little bit just to build the trust. So JP would lower the barrier and wouldn't think that this is a scam. So this gives the hackers time to probe and set up the exploit. And yeah, JP didn't like, long story short, JP did not download any malicious software. He only clicked into the link. So it's likely a drive-by exploit through Telegram or Zoom, exploiting a zero-day vulnerability in iCloud keychain or Google Chrome. So like JP did not have to install anything or type passwords because the exploit happened automatically, like a virus that jumps in through an open window without you noticing. So yeah, like the Ledger CEO, CTO rather, like he overlooked a perspective. He claimed that it's like a malware was used to sniff key data, but so it wasn't like a big download. It could only be like a tiny code that hit and sniffed, like sniff as in like search and copy JP store keys while he was distracted on the call. So yeah, he looks like he stored his keys on like iCloud. So the hacker could exploit the private keys from JP's iCloud keychain, where his old MetaMask keys were stored. So that's how it happened. And then the hackers like drained his wallet, like initiated a single high gas transaction, draining that $1.3 million in just one transaction. Like he even went to the extreme of putting 50,000 gas fee just to ensure that wouldn't be any interruption. And JP actually confirmed the hack, and yeah, he confirmed that publicly on 12th of September, so just like 3 days ago, like calling it fair and square social engineering. So yeah, I do want to like stress this, like security is very important, like cybersecurity. I have personally experienced that. For JP is like, yeah, he's a much well-known figure in the space. He just forgot a MetaMask that happens to have $1 million in one of the random wallet that he owns. And make sure you don't store your private keys on iCloud keychain. And yeah, just be very careful with the links that you click and also the software you download. And these like hackers, they're leveling up. They're using AI to scam you, pretending to be someone else, And from what SegXBT exposed is that, okay, this is likely linked to the North Korean group, so the Lazarus group. I mentioned this in the previous live stream, so if you want a deeper explanation or like deep dive, make sure you watch my previous stream. But like Bybit hack, like being hacked for $1.5 billion. And then, yeah, it was done by Lazarus, which is a North Korean group. And then those like $1.5 billion from Bybit, 1.2 billion actually go to THORChain for money laundering. And it generated $5.5 million in fees for THORChain. So that is pretty ironic, right? Yeah, so those North Korean have been using THORChain to launder money, and THORChain has actually benefited from North Korean using its chain because it generated fees, and then the fee is going to go back to rune holders. So yeah, it's quite ironic how XBT said that on Twitter as well. Yeah, how JP himself profited so much from North Korean, and right now North Korean is coming back to bite the hand that fed those North Korean. So the lesson is being learned here. Never store your keys on iCloud or download malicious software. Make sure you use a cold wallet. I am speaking from personal experience because like I got conference call like this. So the hackers stole actually block agent. So if you guys follow this account, make sure he actually blocked me already. So I'm not sure if I could open. Okay, there you go. So block agent. Okay, they have blocked me. So be very careful when it comes to crypto. Like always have a skeptical mind. So what happened here is that, okay, this is a massive account, and then the project is doing real legit stuff, but they sent me a DM on my old Twitter account, so my hacked account. So they asked for collaboration. Long story short, I hop on a call, like a conference call with them. They actually turned on the camera and I was actually talking to the hacker. Like the whole experience, it felt legit and genuine because I was actually talking to a real person. He's a white guy, he wears glasses, and we were talking for like a few minutes before he asked me to download, okay, there's another software because, okay, one of his colleagues is in China and his colleague cannot use Google Meets, something like that. And I was very stupid and I was very careless and I downloaded that malicious software. So be very careful. Like these people, they are using AI to scam you, to pretend to be your friend and build that trust. So yeah, be very careful the links that you click, the stuff that you download, the people that you talk to, like sending you like random conference link to ask for collab. So be very careful, and majority of your money, make sure to send to cold wallets. Like I don't know what you guys use, but I personally use like Ledger as my go-to. Ledger and Tangem. Like Tangem, I use a lot more because it's easy to carry around. It's just like this black card that I use a lot. Now, if you guys want a Tangem, make sure you use my discount code GEMGEM10 so you get 10% off. All right, so that's for the hack. Let's move on to Solana. Well, I think we're running out of time. So yeah, let's talk about Solana and then we'll quickly wrap here. All right, Solana, why I want to talk about the token is because look at this, Solana is rocketing. It's wait, were it above, like it was like close to 250 over the weekend. So it's in the spotlight again. Yeah, it was quite surprising because the narratives are all of a sudden going strong again, and apparently it's already alt-season because based on the index, it said it's alt-season even though it doesn't feel like one. But Solana, like ever since September, we are in the middle of September, but like Solana climbed from, so here, September, so climbed from $200 to close to 250 over the weekend. And the catalyst is mainly driven by like Galaxy Digital announcing Solana treasury company. So they first announced $530 million for a Solana purchase, and then they upped the game to $1.16 billion in stakeholdings. And then same for like Mike Novogratz, he called Solana tailor-made for financial market. And BlackRock is also exploring tokenized funds on Solana. Like BlackRock is trying to get in with the whole RWA. And I do believe like RWA is going to be a strong narrative and is a narrative that's going to stay. It's not going away like the random NFT or random JPEG does. So yeah, even BlackRock is getting in. Like we know that they're not making a joke. They try to make money, and they see a lot of money being made in RWA and building this like tokenized funds on Solana in particular. And the TVL of Solana is also exploding. So it spiked to $13 billion. And a lot of that is from Camino Finance. I use Camino Finance a lot, or like Drift leading. Those are really good products. And obviously Solana is a chain of meme coins. So yeah, a lot of like attention is actually like retails are using Solana instead of Ethereum these days. And I have personally come across, because I have been in crypto for a few years, and I personally come across that people have only used Phantom Wallet and never used MetaMask. So that's really something. And that means I'm getting old in the crypto space as well. All right, so I am very bullish on Solana. The reason why I'm bullish, it's not only because institution. Well, like first of all, the growth potential is huge. We have ETFs pending at the moment, and obviously we talk about that in the last live stream, that SEC delayed the ETF application, but we might get a response in like 15th of October, so next month. So FANEC, 21 shares, they've all filed for a Solana ETF. And then like Galaxy and BlackRock is like further validating the TradFi interest in Solana. So that's bull case number one. Number two is the treasury accumulation. Take a look at this chart. Like, what am I looking at here, right, Jamie? So what this chart is saying is that, okay, this orange line on the top is, of course, BTC. Wait, is it still too small? Let me know in the chat if my screen is too small. I'm zooming in for you guys. All right, so the top orange line is BTC. The middle line is Ethereum, and then we have Solana. What you can tell from this trend is that, okay, first of all, Ethereum is catching up BTC at a really rapid pace. Like basically, it seems like July, the exponential growth for all these like Ethereum treasury companies. Bitcoin has long been steady because it's the biggest one, and a lot of companies were just like copying what MicroStrategy has been doing. So for BTC, it's more steady. Ethereum is exponential, and looks like look at this. Like in August, late August, looks like Solana is on the uptick as well. So yeah, that's bull case number two. Why I'm bullish on Solana. The ecosystem growth is looking really well. Like look at the TVL, like $13 billion in TVL in DeFi. And Fire Dancer upgrade is coming. It's rolling out in Q4 this year. So that's going to boost is like transaction per second to 1 million transactions. So 1 million TBS, that's really something. And bull case number 4 is that the macro also align. Like if we believe that, okay, rate cuts are coming, there are only room for rate to go down instead of go up. Like I'm sure, like it doesn't take a genius to figure that out, right? So rate cuts bring in like global liquidity. So global liquidity always like translate to some of that money would flow into so-called risk on assets. So when there are rate cuts, like crypto market's gonna be like benefited from that. So yeah, it's looking great. If like the market is pumping, Solana is gonna take like right in the middle of taking that advantage. They have the edge, and the users growth, like the developers, is super active and one of the most active chain we have seen so far. So yeah, long story short is like DAT. I'm running out of time because my show is between 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Hong Kong time. Yeah, let me know, chat, if there are any other stuff you want me to cover. Yeah, I actually prepared some more news, but yeah, maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. So same time for you guys tomorrow. Okay, same time. So 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Hong Kong time. That means 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern time. I changed the time a little bit. It's like I used to be like 5 a.m. right, but like I changed the slot with the team because that'll be easier on my end because I'm in Hong Kong. But yeah, so if you guys want more regular updates from me, make sure to follow me on my Twitter. Make sure you follow the real one instead of the JamJamCrypto_IO, and make sure follow Roxham TV, and you're gonna see my face Monday to Friday doing live stream. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's stream.